Buenos dias, bonjour, ohayo gozaimasu. Es lunes, nous sommes lundi, getsuyobi desu yo. It's Metacognition Monday, and we are talking about brain science. And I have been walking you through all the pedagogical techniques ever invented for teaching language. And the reason I do this is because, first of all, I don't use just one technique. I use all the techniques. I use anything that I think is going to resonate with you at any given moment. And I want you to be able to understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing it and why I've chosen this. All right, so this is another one of my highly favorite ones, only because I'm really, really steeped in it. This was the method of choice when I was living in Japan. And this is the audio-lingual method. So the audio-lingual method always starts with a skit, and then you build up drills for the skit. Okay, so Japanese students, you'll recognize a skit where we're talking about what's in the refrigerator, and then we can talk about things that are in the refrigerator. Okay, but it's a skit. It's very structured. Okay, and then there's chain drills building off of the skit. Chain drills I don't do too much because there's a lot of students just sitting there passively. So the chain drill is person A talks to person B and says, "What's in your refrigerator?" Person B says, "Tomatoes are in my refrigerator." Person B turns around and talks to person C. Person C, "What's in your refrigerator?" Person C says, "Eggs are in my refrigerator." And it goes through the class like that. And it's just a little too passive. So I will normally do a quiz trade instead of a chain drill, but it's building off the skit. Okay, then so I've read the skit to you. I've read the skit to you several times, and then you do the chain drill, which is a quiz trade for us, and then you guys get to start practicing the skit on your own. You get to perform the skit yourselves. Okay, so here's some of the skits that you've probably already seen, Japanese students, French students. I didn't put a Spanish one up here. Then we have substitution drills, and I'll usually have fill in the blank, and you'll just go through the sentence. This is a skirt. This is pants. This is a jacket. Just filling in that blank. Kore wa shatsu desu. Kore wa skirtu desu. Kore wa zubon desu. Just filling in the blank. Then there are substitution drills where we substitute out the subject, and for Romance languages, you guys have to be conjugating more, okay? Ustedes van a la escuela? Are you going to school? And then your answer, if you say Paco y yo, vamos a la escuela, you have to change the verb to match the subject. Roberta no va a la escuela, okay? So it's a little more involved. There are transformation drills where you change a yes question into a no question, a passive into an active voice. Was the book read? I read the book, that kind of thing. Future into past tense. Will you read the book? I read the book. Okay, statement into a question. And again, we do this a lot. Pretty good. This is more transformation drills. So Japanese students, you'll see me write iikae there. Okay, so here's the example. This is a pencil, and then the question, and then you change into a question. What is this? So these are all the same. I think that's funny because they're all, what is this? And then there are questions that are posed that require you to change multiple things in the sentence. Okay, like we just looked at the subject and verb conjugation thing, but this is a little more involved. This is like a question. Are you going to the store? And then you're going to say, no, I'm going to the bank. No, I'm not going to the store. I'm going to the bank. Okay, but you're changing the I. You're changing the location. It's a little more involved. And then you get really good. Now you go back to the skit and you're like, oh my gosh, I thought the skit was hard the first time, but it's obviously so very simple. At this point, you've got it totally memorized. You could do it your eyes closed. Now, again, with audiolingual, like with the direct method and the natural method, mistakes are corrected immediately. And I have to restate that this was one of the hardest things for me to let go because I'm so steeped in this method. The idea is that if you make a mistake and you make it twice and you make it 3 times, it gets fossilized. you get stuck thinking that that's the correct way to say it, mostly because you're not surrounded all the time by native speakers and you're not hearing the correct pronunciation, you're not hearing the correct grammar all the time. And so you go through life thinking that you're saying the right thing, but really you're embarrassing yourself every time you say it. So mistakes get corrected immediately. Nowadays, I've taught long enough where I'm not as worried about fossilization. I have more fun ways to handle this, and I kind of think it raises your effective filter a bit if I pounce on your mistakes immediately. So I just kind of chillaxed about that. All right, and then the skit gets expanded upon because you already know the skit and you've got it really well memorized. Now we can introduce new vocabulary, like I'm going to the supermarket was the original skit, and now you're saying I'm going to the supermarket, I need a little butter. Or we can change it around. I'm going to the library, I need a few books. I'm going to the drugstore, I need a little medicine. Whatever, we can change it around, we can substitute stuff in. You're getting really good at it by this point. No grammar rules are given at all in the audiolingual method. And again, this is another part where I don't follow the audiolingual method exactly because I feel like you guys are nearly adults. You have brains that are fully developed, almost fully developed. You have pattern recognition. Now, a little baby does not have pattern recognition, and there's this dumb idea that babies learn faster than adults, which totally is not true because it takes a baby 9 years to become fluent in French. It takes a baby 8 years to become fluent in Spanish. All right? We don't have 8 years. I only have maybe 4 years with you if you really like me, but I can take advantage of all that pattern recognition. So I do discuss grammar with you guys, even when I'm doing the audiolingual method, because I really feel like that will get you learning faster if I can show you the patterns. There's a lot of minimal pairs practice, and we do this constantly. French students, you recognize me pounding into your head, je versus j'ai. Because if you say j'ai, you might accidentally put something in past tense, and you don't mean to. Je, dropped vowel, j'ai. Or our favorite one, don't we love this one? Déçu versus déçu, with this vowel right behind your teeth. Put that vowel right behind your teeth. Spanish students, you'll recognize perro versus perro. Okay, the arre. This is butt and this is dog. Okay. Japanese students, you might recognize gaki, which is a musical instrument, and gaki, which is a spoiled brat. So minimal pairs is the words are very, very similar, but there's one teeny little sound that's different. So we practice that. And then there's generally a closed activity with the dialogue. So we've been doing a lot of Roxem, and you recognize closed activities from the whacker word in Roxem, which is really fun. And then finally, we've done this skit, and the skit always has a little bit of culture in it. And then the final thing we do is we take that culture out. We have a long, beautiful cultural explanation, but it's all in the target language, no English whatsoever. So that is the audiolingual method, and your challenge for this week is to think about everything we do in class, and when you see us using the audiolingual method, say, hey, that's the audiolingual method. You can shout it in English. That's fine. I'm happy when you recognize the techniques that we're doing and you understand why we're doing them. Okay, that's your challenge.